welcome back to a bit of a different book review here from me. Today I'm going to be reviewing, in a brief manner, Stephen King's lengthy novel, Insomnia. This book is an integral part of the Dark Tower tale overall, even though it's not technically one of the series. In this book, Gan, the Godhead from the Dark Tower series, is manipulating a human in Derry, Maine, a recurring town in the Stephen King universe, one Ralph Roberts. The Crimson King is our antagonist here, the devil, and he is manipulating Ed Deepmeow. So it's Gan and Ralph Roberts versus the Crimson King and Ed Deepmeow as the deities go head-to-head using humans like pawns in Derry, Maine over a very important character that comes into play in the Dark Tower series, Patrick, a young man who's an artist. I'm going to leave it at that. In this book, abortion is a big theme. It's at the heart of this. The book ultimately boils down to a speech that's going to be given by a woman about abortion issues in a civic center, and that's where our climax in this novel takes place. I'm very split with this novel. This is a very long novel, and I thought it was kind of boring. Honestly, it was so slow that I almost couldn't finish it, but I did finish it because it's such an important part of understanding the Dark Tower series. You see, the last 50 pages in this book was just gold to me. It really fills in some pieces and parts so that you can know who Patrick is, where he comes from. If you've read the Dark Tower series, you're really going to smile when you find out what this book is about. It's really important for anyone who has read the Tower series, even though it was a boring read for me because I felt that everything that was going on between Ed Deepmeow and Ralph Roberts was taking such a long time to come to fruition for the climax of this novel. It was really one of the slowest books that I have ever read. But I enjoyed the last 50 pages of it thoroughly. I absolutely loved it when we finally get answers at the end of Insomnia concerning so many things about the Dark Tower and the Gunslinger and everything that is of importance in the Dark Tower series. I give this book a 3-star review. If you've never read the Dark Tower series and you're just looking for a book for a good read, I highly recommend that you do not pick this novel up. Not only, in my opinion, is it slow, and keep in mind that there are people that absolutely loved this book. Couldn't have been any more suspenseful. In my opinion, the book is very slow and lengthy, and I highly recommend that you don't read it just as a standalone book. If, on the other hand, you've read the Dark Tower series, I highly recommend that you read this book. Even though I felt that it was such a slow and almost even painful at times read, it was really important to finish this, to figure out how important it is with the Dark Tower series. So I'm giving it a strong recommendation if you've not read the series, or if you have read the series, but if you've not read the Dark Tower series, I'm going to say do not read on Insomnia. Stephen King, in his memoir On Writing, actually says that this book was a stiff, trying too hard novel. And I think he has to be at least referring to some of the length here. This was a very long novel, and although it was kind of an interesting plot, it was just boring in my opinion, and I don't recommend it. Stephen King's Insomnia, a book that is such an integral piece of the Dark Tower series, I'm giving it a strong recommendation. I would really like to go into some of the plot in this book to talk about it, but it's just not possible without spoiling not only this book, but the Dark Tower series in itself. So I'm going to say strongly recommend, 3-star review. If you've read the Tower books, you are definitely going to want to read this. If you've not read the Dark Tower series, I highly recommend that you don't waste your time with Stephen King's Insomnia. Thanks, everyone.